feel paralyzed. All right, guys, we are getting our last little audio set up here for round 3. Getting Pete hooked in. Try again. One second, quick little audio hiccup. Nope, not picking up anything. You're on push to talk too.
Test, test.
Hello. That's weird. Yeah, it's not coming up at all. Alright, sorry guys, we're trying to get Pete's remote audio for his table bossing to work. It worked the first 2 rounds. For some reason it's decided to stop working now, so we're trying to figure that out. Round 3, we have finally not Drukari or Admech on table, or at least not for both matches, for both tape people. What was that? Okay. Alright, 1 second. Well, this isn't what's supposed to be picking up your... Is it? I didn't think this picks up the audio. That picks up the audio.
This?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
'Cause I don't think this has a mic in it. I didn't think it did. Alright, we can't go a whole event without having a hiccup, guys. I'm sorry. So while Pete's working on that, we have a interesting robot grudge match here, or pseudo robot grudge match. We have Admech. Well, there's a different spin on Admech versus Tau with triple Riptide. The old-fashioned Triptide list is here. So let's go through both lists real quick. We have on Steven's side with the Tau, we have a where was it? So he's played custom Seps with gifted pilots and hardened warheads. I'm trying to remember. I know that hardened warheads gives all of his missiles an extra AP. I forget what gifted pilots does exactly. I'll have to double check. When Pete gets over there, we can ask Steven. We got a commander and an XV-85 enforcer. It's the warlord with 3 unity devastation. He has crosslink stabilizer jets and 4 missile pods with 2 marker drones. We got 3 5-man breacher teams, each with 2 marker drones. Then we got we got 2 regular Riptides. I think they're both the same. Double checking. Yeah, so they both have the advanced targeting system for the extra AP, 2 smart missile systems, counterfire defense system, heavy burst cannon. They both have 2 shielded missile drones, 2 missile pods, and 2 shield generators. Or those are what the drones have, I apologize. The fast attack, he's got 2 units of 2 Tetras, each with high intensity marker lights. He's got 2 Devilfish, each with gun drones. Then he has in a patrol attachment. Oh, now I hear you, Pete.
Test, test, test.
Yep, now it works. Very good. Can you ask Steven what I can't remember, what does gifted pilots do? It's +1 to hit? Okay. With battle suits, I assume probably. Battle suits and vehicles. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then in his second patrol, he's got a commander and a crisis battle suit. This one has a flamer and a drone controller, so he's just there really for the drone controller buff. He's got another breacher team with 2 marker lights. Then he's got a 3rd Riptide. This one has the amplified accelerator, little stealth battle suits with a gun drone. Just kind of probably there as like action monkeys or something like that, maybe forward deployed to stop the other person from doing anything super obnoxious to you. So good old-fashioned Triptide. All right. Let's see. I will neither confirm nor deny that Brad Chester is drinking wine out of a paper bag. I will agree that he has a paper bag and there's a bottle inside of it. That's all. That's the only evidence I am prepared to provide at the moment. All right, so let's look at the other AdMech list.
I will say it's an official DOG paper bag.
A DOG paper bag?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So we do have a variation on this AdMech list. This is not the cookie cutter ones that we saw in our mirror match in the first round. So we have a Lucius Battalion with the, let's see, Host of the Intermediary and Architect Specialist, so that's probably the extra stuff. Mechanicus Locum. So we have a Cybernetica Data Smith with Solar Flare, 2 Skitarii Marshals, 1 with Exemplar's Eternity, and 1 with Firepoint Telemetry Cache. Then we have a Dominus. The Dominus has the Luminescent Blessings from Lucius. Then we have a 19-man Skitarii Ranger unit, a 20-man Skitarii Ranger unit, and a 20-man Skitarii Ranger unit, which so far I know sounds cookie cutter. It sounds like what everyone's playing. It sounds a little... oh, and we have Warlord traits on 2 of those alphas. We have the Battlesphere uplink on 1 of them and the Multitasking Cortex on the other. Then 2 5-man units of Sakaran Infiltrators and 2 5-man units of Taraxi Sterilizers, which, again, I know, blah, right? But then we get to the spice. We got 5 Sidonian Dragoons. We got the melee chickens, guys. We don't have the old-fashioned laser chickens. We got the pokey laser chickens. They're going to poke you with tasers. And then we got more spice. I guess spice. I'm not really sure it counts as spice. But we got 5 Castellan robots. The old heavy hitters themselves. Each with a heavy phosphor blaster. 2 of them have triple blasters. And 3 of them have 2 fists and a single blaster. So there's a little bit of a shooting, punching mix in there. So definitely a little bit interesting. I haven't seen people playing Castellans lately. I have never seen anyone since the book came out play Dragoons. I've only ever seen the actual ass chickens. So I appreciate at least that we're seeing a little bit of mixing it up, a little bit of tech, trying out some stuff, making a list a little interesting. I'm interested in. Clearly, he's added melees. He felt like AdMech player felt like he must have needed some melee punches. He's got 2 kind of melee units in there. Probably don't need the punchy part against Tau. So we'll see how this works out. Have to just assume here, I'll be honest, guys, I think the days of Tau being the best shooting army are probably, and I hate to say it, but my expectations are not super high for that prediction. So we are playing Vital Intelligence, I believe it was. We don't check our missions here. So we're on the die. Is this Vital Intelligence?
Vital Intelligence.
Vital Intelligence, okay. So our players have already got, we got the 4 objectives in the middle. This is definitely one of the ones where you can touch the objective and leave it, which may allow AdMech to use some drones to get some stuff if they go first. Or I'm sorry, not AdMech, Tau. I don't imagine that AdMech is going to be super eager to walk away from any objectives that they get to based on their stratagems. So we'll see how this goes. Again, I feel like there's just AdMech's got a lot of stuff on the table, and Tau's definitely playing a very elite list with the triple Riptide, and that Riptide can't put out the same amount of fire as the Rangers, unfortunately. So we'll see how this goes. All right, you guys have your own little conversation. It's cool. All right. Looks like the players are starting to get their secondaries in. We're seeing the scorecard change a little bit. So we'll see what the players end up picking. I have to imagine that Steven's not going to want to just engage AdMech in the middle of the table here.
So, secondary is that data.
If you're talking, Pete, we lost you.
Okay, so I'm sorry. DJ's got intercept, engage, and Rod, Chivacos data. Steven's got engage, bring it down, and the last. That's the secondary Trojan right.
Okay. So David definitely sounds like he has picked 3 things where he just doesn't even have to worry about what Steven does. Sounds like Steven's kind of picked some where he has to engage David some. So we'll see how that shakes out. Again, we'll have those on the scoreboard here as soon as they get them put into their phone, and we can keep up with those.
Little Brad Chester stealing his opponent's miles, putting him on his start.
Yeah, the Tau list, I played against it. Steven and I were both doing some prep. Steven was prepping for this event. I was prepping for Lone Star. And I happened to play his Tau list with a fun Blood Angels list I had. And it was kind of the all-in Blood Angels, like all jump packs, and that's it. Definitely did not work. The firepower of the Tau list is definitely still pretty blistering. I question if the blistering firepower is good enough against the firepower AdMech can put out. Sir Callum, if you do exclamation point list, they should both show up. I can even do it. Yeah, this is I'm not gonna lie. I'm rooting for Tau, which is weird. I looked at this matchup, and I was like, I feel like this is some old like Lord of the Rings meme, where he talks about I never thought I'd be, fighting with an elf or whatever, and he's like, oh, what about a friend? He's like, yeah, I can do that. I never thought I'd be rooting for Tau, but against AdMech, I think I could do it.
What's the meme with the Hungarian dance? Legolas?
What? Hungarian what?
There's a meme with like, what about fighting with the Hungarian dish? Legolas.
Oh yeah. Like the goulash. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Yeah. No, Neil, you're fine. I'm interested to see feedback as well. Just whatever people think helps all of us who are trying to.
Here
stream.
we go.
All right, so we got a roll off. Who won the roll off, Pete?
AdMech goes first. 3-4.
AdMech goes first. All right.
And a spirited handshake and what?
So again, we'll check the scorecard, see the secondaries. So we got, again, David's going first with AdMech. He has Data Intercept, was the mission specific. Then we have Engage on all fronts and Retrieve Octarius data. Steven has got Engage on all fronts, Bring it down, and to the last. I'm sure the to the last are the 3 Riptides. So it'll be a question of can he keep the 3 Riptides alive through 60 Vanguards and 5 Castellans shooting at it. So we're seeing David starting to move out. Again, he just has to touch these objectives to get them. But I think he did deploy back a little bit to try to be conservative in case Tau went first. He didn't want to just offer up anything. So he may not be able to get to all of them in the first turn. We'll see. Actually, those Dragoons probably can just get to both. I imagine they're pretty fast and they advance. I bet those Dragoons can come around that corner on the top side and touch both. It looks like it doesn't even have touch both. It looks like there's infiltrators on both of the corner ruins. Just getting the forward deploy there. So he's already got those, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I like the Tau army. I'm a sucker for the old-fashioned green bases. I used kind of a modified of the old-fashioned grass on my Necron army, which I really like. Um, I know it's kind of a grimdark game, but I think having some color on the table definitely helps. Makes the game look nice. So I don't know if David's going to feel the need to bring his third brick out. He moved one up into the crater, one through the building a little bit. He's got one back there behind his home field. I'm going to imagine that he might leave that one back there just to do data intercept every turn. Yeah, there's 5 Lucius bots on the right. 3 of them have double fist, and 2 of them have triple phosphor blasters. And then in the top middle, those are actually dragoons, not las chickens. They're taser chickens. So we got some spice from the AdMech in a couple units. He's got the main core that everyone's running with the 60 Skitari. But I do appreciate seeing some different things on table, mixing it up. It looks like the AdMech player really wanted to have some counterpunch in his list, like something in case he got charged or whatever. So he's definitely come up with some interesting choices. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that aspect of his list necessary to be flexing its muscles against Tau. But we'll see. Maybe Tau does some weird stuff. Yeah, actually, Neil, I agree. If he solar flares something right, because he left that big hole. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's not a big hole in the middle of the deployment zone for Tau because there are 3 stealth suits up there under that second building on the left. So that hole actually is not empty for solar flare. I'm pretty sure there's going to be that's going to be like 9 inches from the thing that's 9 inches away. So if we want a solar flare, it's
right here.
Yeah. Solar flaring right into the deployment zone AdMech look or Tau looks is there's probably not space there. Although Steven could have messed up the measurement. I don't know.
I feel like it's probably a trap too because
We lost you, Pete.
I feel like it's also a trap too.
Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I don't think that it's the right call to go up there.
Probably a trap because it puts you right in front of the Triptides too.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, man. I've lived through Triptide fear for a long time. I played in 6th, 7th, 8th edition. At various times, Triptides were all terrible. I have no idea if they're good enough to kill this stuff anymore. I'll be interested to see. We get to ignore a lot of the buffs that Lucius can bring for its survivability, but I don't know that that's going to be enough. We'll see. Like, I don't want to sound defeatist. I'm interested to see what happens. It's just one of those things where I just know exactly what kind of firepower AdMech can put out. So we'll see if Tau can hang. All right, so we're advancing guys up through the ruins.
Yep. At table 13, I'll be providing Heritage updates. The people want to know when the Heritage dies.
I mean, the people did want to know, but then the Heritage lost. And, America only loves a winner, Pete. That's just how it works. Our top tables, for those of you who are interested, because I was trying to pick the most interesting match this round, top tables are pretty much what you would expect out of the meta. We have AdMech versus Tau. Table 2, we have Drukhari versus Death Guard. Table 3, we have Drukhari versus AdMech. On table 4, we have Chaos versus Sisters. On table 5, we have Drukhari versus AdMech. On table 6, we have AdMech versus Dark Angels. On table 7, we have Orcs versus Death Guard. And that is our last undefeated matchup. And then we have a Sisters player who's still undefeated playing against a one-loss Sisters player. So a lot of AdMech and Drukhari here at our undefeated tables right now, which probably doesn't shock anybody. Not a ton of Sisters. There's a lot of Sisters at the event and only 2 undefeated. So that's a little surprising that they're not kind of showing up in the same representation that Admech and Drukari are. But somebody has to lose at some point.
Michelle Mech doing a good showing here for the sisters and for Next Glory.
Yep.
That's table 4.
Yep. So, we're, I don't know about you guys. I like to root for the underdogs. So I'm going to be rooting for all the non-Admech and Drukari lists today and tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. It may be in vain. All right, so we're not seeing anything too aggressive here from David. Doesn't have really good range to any of the... he doesn't have last chickens. So he doesn't have a way to really easily interact with the Riptides from far away like he would with some of the more traditional lists. So he's got to kind of just get to the middle of the table and then hang out. We'll see what kind of game the Tau can play kind of dancing away from that. Because it doesn't look like... It looks like if Tau comes forward much at all, they're going to be in range of most all of the guns next turn from Tau. So we'll see if what kind of firepower Tau can put into these bricks. I don't know. I believe Tau does have the fallback and shoot with Mach-Ka. So maybe if the Dragoons can't easily get to the Riptides, have to pile into them, they might still be able to do stuff there. I honestly don't even know how much firepower Dragoons put out in melee. I've never got to see one on the table. I'm excited. Let's go. I want to see how many attacks they have. What have we got? Dragoons. So we got taser lances. So, okay, so they have exploding, they have Tesla lances, okay. So they got 4 attacks, but every 6 is 3 hits. All right. Okay, 2 damage weapons. Yeah, I want to see what the, we all know what the Rangers can do. I want to see what these Lucius Dragoons and the Lucius robots do. I'm here for the special sauce. Alright, looks like we're measuring measuring range to the Devilfish. Pretty sure Devilfish has 10 breachers inside of it. Looks like the other Devilfish may have already had some shots put into it.
Yeah, the Devilfish took 3 rounds, 3 rooms.
The Devilfish in the middle.
Yep, right here.
Yep.
We'll take a 5-minute break, so I'll be back.
Okay. So this mission is obviously already hard going second, just because of the being able to touch objectives and walk away from them. The Tau list doesn't have a lot of OBSEC. It's got the 4 or 5-man breacher units. So I'm definitely a little concerned for Tau's ability to steal these objectives back at any point. I feel like the only way they're going to steal them back is if they actually just kill the Admech, and we'll have to see if that's a thing. Because I know what Steven loves to do, especially on this mission, send out a 2-man drone, go and touch something, touch it while hiding. It's easy to hide a 2-man unit. Try to just play keep away a little bit. It's going to be hard to do when the other army is just going to walk into the middle of the table and stand there. So we'll see. But, it's not like Steven's unaware of Admech. He had to know that if he comes to a tournament that this was a thing he could play against. So I'm sure he's at least, considered what his options are. We'll see what plane he's got. I do remember that the data on this map, or on this mission, has definitely shown that going first on this mission is more of an advantage than on other normal missions. Or a lot of times going second, just getting that 15 at the end is powerful enough that it's just so hard to get any at the beginning of the game if you go second here and the other person can touch everything. So we'll see how big of a problem that is to overcome. Alright, looks like Tao is firing things up, unloading from the Devilfish, hopping out, and we'll see what kind of play they come up with here.
Going smooth.
Just waiting to see what Steven chooses to do with his turn. Oh, so that was not Steven's movement phase. That was Admech picking up the Devilfish, and that is the disembark. So we are down one Devilfish, which is probably something that Steven was looking forward to using to charge into some Skitarii and maybe tie him up a little bit. That is no longer an option on that side of the table, unfortunately. Looks like Steven is measuring to see if he can get over to some of those objectives or if he maybe needed to emergency disembark to have range to him.
So it looks like DJ just killed the...
Oh, we lost you there, Pete.
DJ killed the Devilfish with 0 casualties inside.
Okay. So everything inside got out fine. Looks like, is this damage from mortals during the Nova Charge step? Are we Nova charging the Riptides? Alright, so we have an advanced under breachers to come steal this objective from the infiltrators while he can.
Drones into objective 5. So Steven now controls objective 5 and 2, which are the ones over here.
Okay. Bringing in some Tetras. You know, there are a lot of marker lights that come from those Tetras. If he wants to put a big hurt in with the Riptides this turn, those Tetras are going to be probably the first step. So that makes sense kind of bringing them up. We got line of sight. I assume they're not touching the room. They do have line of sight to that big brick up by the Sidonian Dragoons up at the top. disembarking from the other Devilfish, sending the breachers up to where the infiltrators are to steal that objective away.
Yep.
Trying to hold.
Even stealing 3 objectives this round.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Does David have any of the OBSEC models on that objective where the Dragoons are, or is it just a Dragoon?
Which one?
Over
here?
Yeah, the one with the Dragoons touching. Is there any of the infantry touching it also?
2. 3. 3 of OBSEC.
3 OBSEC on
One
it.
Dragoon.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and I don't, unless he gets another unit of breachers out, he's not going to be able to steal that one away. He only needs to touch it with the breacher. He does have the 3 stealth suits and the drone there at the moment. So a single OBSEC would then steal that away and hold David to a 5. I don't know if he feels that he wants to throw them away to do that. So we'll see what his plan is there. Bringing up more Tetris. He's got some, looks like making a little bit of a wall on the left side in front of his Riptide. That's going to have line of sight to the Dragoons. Making sure Dragoons can't charge the Riptide necessarily. Obviously, he's going to have to, there is the possibility if David chooses to ignore those objectives for a minute and really push back Steven to hamper Steven's ability to do stuff, he could just forego those objectives, come between those 2 buildings with the infantry brick, easily pick up the Tetris with like 80 shots or whatever it is, and then maybe Dragoons would be in range to charge. It would have to go through a crater, so I'm not sure if the distance would, or what kind of a charge would be. Probably be kind of big. The thing that I'm seeing here is Steven's got to be very careful, as we mentioned, the solar flares, the big trick Lucius has. He needs to make sure that he does not leave any room in between that Riptide and the bottom middle, and the breachers that came out and stole the bottom right objective from the infiltrators. He does not want a big unit deep striking 9 inches away from his Riptide, I imagine. So that is probably part of why he's extending some of his forces, trying to push out the bubble to hold off the solar flare for as long as possible. If he gets a couple turns to whittle down the big units, the solar flare may not be able to bring anything big, although there's always going to be the threat if that back unit that's holding and probably data intercepting in David's deployment zone, if that's the one that ends up being the option for solar flare, then he doesn't really have any way to interact with those. He does have smart missiles. They ignore line of sight, I believe. So maybe he could put some shots in there over the course of the game, but I have to imagine that would not pick them up very quickly. Although Tau can't ignore cover, he does have the extra AP, so it's not nothing.
Pause in the game. We got to review whether the Riptide go on the second line.
Push the button again, sorry.
Oh. A pause in the game. We got to figure out whether the Riptide is on the second level of the ruins or not. I know they had FLGs at 6%, but we got to make sure with the judges whether or not he can actually sit up there. Because it's a monster.
Aren't they battle suits, not monsters?
They're monsters. Riptides are monsters.
That feels like a holdover from earlier editions.
It may be. I have never had a Tau do well enough to have a rules issue, but I'll find CK if he used to look it up as well. And then John's currently looking up it.
It is a monster, what do you know? Alright, so we'll see. Based on the fact he moved it off the ruin, I'm going to assume the ruling is that it cannot go on top of the building. Still has... You can unplug. Yeah, you can unplug this one. Yeah. If you have your own cable, you can unplug that and plug yours in.
I can run out to my car and grab it though.
That would be better. Yeah.
I'll have to come back in a bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Steven opted to move his model off the top ruin.
You're just not worried about it.
He's not worried about it. It's affected this turn, but we'll get an official ruling from CK and Steven. I don't think he can go on top of there, neither does John or CK. We're looking for an official ruling.
Okay. All right. I don't think it changes a ton. All the Riptides are still going to have lines of sight to the things that I think they want to shoot, so we'll see how that goes. All right, what are we shooting here, Pete?
Piranha versus the Rangers.
Piranhas into the Rangers. Or the Tetras into the Rangers? Okay. So is the high intensity marker lights, I take it?
Yeah, basically they're trying to wipe that spot. So the official ruling from the TOs, page 83 of the terrain traits. Any models with Y can go on scalable ruin. So he can in fact go on top of it with his Riptide, even though they're a monster. So that's a 8th edition holdover, but it won't affect this turn. But as long as he knows he's going on top of it, he's good to go.
Okay. All right. So what do we got now? These more marker lights?
Well, we gave Steven the option of putting him back up on top of the ruin. He didn't seem to mind. So I don't.
So let's see where Steven's pointing his first big guns. So what was picking up some of these Rangers? Was that just a Tetras?
Well, the Riptide and these into this.
Okay.
Yep, into the Ranger spot over here. So that's what we're solving right now. We're going to put some more marker lights into the chickens.
Okay. So we're going after Dragoons.
Yep.
So the first Riptide that shot, was that the one at the bottom of the table near Steven?
Yeah, the one right in front of Steven with the wounds on it was on a shot and shooting the one with the crater on his left side here for marker lights into the chickens. Yep.
All right. So that one on the bottom probably just didn't have lines of sight to really anything else. So you had to shoot those Rangers that were poking around the corner a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think unless you're shooting into DJ's main block, I don't think that the bottom tip side in the right now is able to shoot anything else.
Yeah, it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't things. Because like you don't want the Dragoons to charge you, but you don't want the the Rangers to sit there and put 80 shots into you every turn either. So
I think the Triptides need to put their shots into the Dragoons. More efficient, more damage. Even though they're negative for hit right now. with the marker lights, it might offset it. You know.
Yeah, you can get a lot of marker lights. You can basically just get 5 right away between all the strats and the high intensity. Yeah, so let's see how this shakes out. Did we lose any Dragoons? Oh, about to grab one.
Does anyone have any bets for the win? Anyone like Tau or Admech?
No, I haven't heard anybody say in chat. No one said anything about who they were voting for or rooting for. I imagine we're at a point where Tau as the underdog is the people's champion. Which, you know, I don't know how many people ever thought they would root for Tau, but I have a feeling meta-wise we're there a little bit. We got one Tau for the win in chat. Thank you, Fastance, I think is the correct way to say that. Thank you.
I mean, this man has made it through 2 rounds without dropping, and so
Yeah.
I think he knows how to play.
Yeah, he's been playing this list for a bit. He knows what he wants it to do. But this has to be one of the toughest matchups for it, for sure. Like, I have to imagine, looking at the way the Tau list is constructed, he would much rather play like Drukari than Admech. The weapons seem really well suited to shoot Drukari stuff.
Harridan update. Harridan is still alive in round 2 and he's winning currently. So that's good. That's good news.
The people's champion. The Harridan trying to avenge his round 2 loss at the hands of Admech. Or no, Tau. At the hands of Tau in round 2.
Yeah. He has taken 0 wounds, even though the opponent has tried to shoot him off the table. So
that's not a good sign. Yeah.
No, it's not. I think we might have a 2-1 Harridan list going to day 2.
Look, man, we're all rooting for the Harridan to make top 3 with like X-1 record, right? We need that Harridan meta.
I mean, I don't want to put any pressure on him, but yes, we do need it. Pretty bad meta when you're rooting for anybody else but Sisters, Drukari, and Admech.
I don't even think we're at the point where anyone should be rooting against Sisters yet. Sisters win stuff, but not with the frequency. Like, their win rate right now, I think, is 52%. 52 to 55. Like, that seems pretty fine.
I don't know. I think they're actually high 50s, low 60s.
They're no. Not the last couple weeks. Not the data that they've been putting out the last few weeks. They've been in like that 52 to 55 range.
Has the half cyborg, half human menace been stomping them down? Is that what you think?
Yeah, Admech's had a really high rate. Well, no, I think the issue where Sisters don't show up as much is because Sisters are, not to sound arrogant or anything, as someone who's trying to play Sisters, I think Sisters are a skill-intensive army because you have a bunch of crazy hammers, but they're all super delicate hammers. So you have to. The Twitch Authority, thank you for following us. We hope you're enjoying the 3rd round of our tournament this weekend. Sisters are great at killing things, but if you play them wrong at all, they just die. You have to be very careful with your positioning.
So what you're saying is we have 2 Drukari armies.
Yeah, I mean, functionally, they're way more.
And a shooting Drukari.
Yeah, I think Sisters are way better at dealing with a lot of different things than Drukari. But if you just like put Sisters out in the open like Space Marines because they're wearing power armor, that's not going to work for you. And I think their win percentage gets dragged down by people who don't necessarily appreciate what the army does. So we'll see. I think if you only looked at like the best players playing Sisters, they'd have some absurdly high win rate. But who wouldn't? What army wouldn't in that case?
They won. Was it the Lone Star Open also?
Yeah, but there was also 2 Admech in that top 8.
was happy to see Eldari. What's
Yeah.
his face was running
The
that?
Sean Naden, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think if you replay that finals, I think if you replay that finals 10 times, I think Sean wins like 7 of them. Like his list is just really good at killing sisters.
That's like a bad luck, like a below average. Like it's not.
Buttons off.
It's not actually how it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean,
In my opinion, I obviously
it was a very close game, and a player, Sean made a mistake based on they were running out of time, and he was trying to get all this stuff done, and he made a mistake, and that happens. I think if they have no time limit, I think Sean wins that game. I think it's much less likely he makes that mistake in a game with no time limit.
I almost wish in 40K you could do best 2 out of 3, but that would be like an entire day.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you never
Like,
do
you
that.
can't do it.
All right, so it looks like the Riptides killed 2 Dragoons. I'm not sure how much damage. It looks like 2 Dragoons and a bunch of Rangers. So Pete maybe can give us a count how many Rangers are left up there by the Dragoons.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on one second.
So they were rolling leadership right now, perhaps? Or no, these
So
are
he
stealth
killed-
suits charging.
We killed 12 Rangers,
Okay.
and
Are the stealth suits charging the Rangers?
12 Rangers and 2 Dragoons, and the stealth suits, it's how we're getting in a melee. It's not very stealthy hitting people with your fists. Not stealthy at all.
This is not the first round I expected to see from Tao, getting the first charge into Admech. That's pretty great. So Pete, you'll have to give us an update. How does this stealth suit combat work out?
Actually, statistically, pretty well. He killed 2 Rangers by punching them to death.
Okay. Now these Rangers can just auto pass because they still have the every turn auto pass for 1 CP. So it's not going to solve this problem, but it definitely makes it better.
I mean, DJ still controls the point, so
Yeah, exactly. And he can't fail leadership because we're still playing pre-FAQ. So
correct.
But, those stealth suits were probably just going to die anyway, so you might as well charge them in there and get a few extra kills. They were not going to be long for this world.
Steven is updating the BCP scores right now,
Okay.
and then DJ is updating the physical card. So they're kind of conferring right now.
So we'll
I'll
check
have
the
that for you
score.
in just a
Okay.
second.
Yep. I've got the scorecard up, so as they update it, we'll see what they plug in. So looks like David is going to be getting a 5 on primary. Because this is a 2-3. So holding the backfield plus that 1 where he's able to keep the few Rangers left. That gets him to 5. Data intercept, he's holding 2. Engaged on all fronts, he got 2 on the first turn for getting into that third quarter. Or to getting into 3 quarters with the infiltrators on the corners. And obviously he has not completed any Octarius data yet. So it looks like Data's going to be up at a 19. We'll go back and check this out.
All right, updated.
All right. David taking a little stock
So
of
that's to be
everything.
updated.
Yep,
right
we're all
now.
good. Yep, we're up 19-10 right now. So I'm surprised that he was able to pick up as many Rangers as he did. I didn't think he had enough shots to do that, so I'm pretty
I think it's
impressed by
the
that.
AP.
Say that again, Pete.
The Riptide main weapon, the burst cannon or pulse cannon.
Yeah, the burst cannon. It being 2 damage, getting through a lot of the buffs
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Yeah. It's not super efficient, but you're going to pick up isolated numbers of Rangers. So,
Well, I mean, the Rangers are what? Saving on 6 then? The Rangers normally have a 4-up, right? And they don't get any of their buffs against 2 damage?
correct, yeah. I don't have the list up, but I'm assuming he's going Lucius.
Yeah, he's running Lucius, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, everything is Lucius. It's the Lucius Battalion. All right, so we see the second brick coming up to try to permanently claim this objective. Now, this one's going to be a lot harder for Steven to shoot David off of because of the angle of that building. They have it set up where the wall of the ruin is facing towards Steven's deployment zone, which means the Riptides are going to have a really hard time getting an angle on that unit. They can all 3 try to come down where the one is in the bottom middle, but they're not going to be able to all get there this turn. So it's going to be very hard for him to try to shoot anybody off of that objective with just that ruined placement. So you see David definitely taking advantage of that, hiding at the angle just to try to make sure that he doesn't give up any easy shots. Now, Steven did still relatively well, looks like, screen out Solar Flare again this turn. We don't see any big glaring holes in the table that look super obvious.
Absolutely. There's no gaps between here and...
Yeah. Now, we'll see. He may have a... He can always still Solar Flare the back unit up. We don't know which character has the Solar Flare, but I assume it's in between the back unit and the one that just moved up into that objective, so they could get either one of them. So, you know, there's always the idea of just Solar Flaring the back unit just to get them into the fight, even if it's not like a knockout punch.
I think it's too early for that. I think he's got to wait for the board to clear and just like take advantage of it. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. There's definitely different schools of thought here. There's different approaches you can take. I don't know that it's necessary at the moment. You know, you both traded some punches, but it's not like there's no like break glass in case of emergency situation here. So we probably will be an aggressive play to fire off.
I don't know. I like that description. The AdMech break glass in case you never redeploy. It's just basically like a cog or a cog or something.
Yeah.
You know, like some oil for AdMech.
Yeah. They have some kind of like glass canister built into their chest, and they just have to like crack the chest open when there's an emergency. I'm interested to see what these punchy robots do. They didn't move up very far next turn. They're all touching the crater, which is great for cover, but bad for movement. I want to see where they're going to go. What is his long-term plan with them? If they were all triple Phosphor Blaster, they'd be pretty close to good where they are. They could come down between those two on the bottom and just kind of harass the bottom half of the table. But obviously, as we said, 3 of them are melee robots, so I don't know what he wants to do with them. This is probably not the matchup that he put them in his list for, is my guess. I don't think when you're putting punchy robots in your list, you're like, yes, now I can beat Tau.
Just uppercut some Riptides.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to do the old like Super Smash Brothers Mario, like into the drone and just punch it straight up in the air like a coin.
I imagine it like rock stop robot.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's on the other robots. It's not on the Riptide. They can't reach the Riptide.
Yeah, Riptide.
Yeah. Riptide, you guys didn't see Pete's miming, just like waving the hands, keeping it away. So here's the answer to my question. Those Castellans are coming down kind of into that position I talked about where I would love to see them if they were triple Phosphor Blaster. Probably going to, similarly, they can sit here and harass the bottom even if they don't automatically start deleting things. But if you have those 3 or 5 Castellans there, and 3 of them have double fists, the Tal's not going to want to come anywhere near those 2 objectives. So they're going to be a really good security blanket to make sure that AdMech just gets to sit on those 2 on the bottom for a while.
Tragic news.
Do what?
The Harridan's down to 6 wounds.
Oh, no.
But the Harridan player is winning.
Oh, yeah, that's all that matters. Got to sacrifice the Harridan for the greater good, right?
I mean, he's a couple of points, so it's pretty good now.
All right, bring around the rest of that. I think we said there's like 6 Rangers left in that little tiny unit. Looks like they may be falling out. Pete, did the Rangers kill the stealth suits in combat?
Not yet.
Are they
6
falling back or
Rangers
something?
left.
Did they fall back out of the combat?
Yeah, he fell back out of combat. There's 6 Rangers left. The stealth suits are still there.
Okay.
So he's leaving his chickens right now. Get 2, and then 1 with 4 wounds left.
Okay.
So
I'm
the stealth suits
interested.
are kind of giving them problems right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested why he's bringing the Dragoons over to the middle of the table. What is, they're melee, obviously. What is he trying to charge over there? Maybe it's just a concession that he wants to try to kite the Tau player over to the other side of the table, play the angles a little bit.
Yeah, I'll step over to the table real quick and elaborate. How do you? The player was trying to go over, I think, to challenge. What's those speakers? The 2-man.
The Tetras.
Yes. So he wants to go over there and lock those into combat and then clear them out. But I don't think that Steven realizes that. I don't even think he cares, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the Tetras are just fancy marker lights. That's all they do. And there's a lot.
I don't think DJ realizes that. I don't think DJ has played against Tau because no one's played against Tau at the top table.
Well, Tetras aren't super common either. They're Forge 1 units. They don't show up a lot. And he's measuring stuff to those Tetras right now. Maybe he thinks if he can take out the marker lights that the rest of the list just is not efficient enough to play with AdMech. AdMech obviously has a very high level of efficiency in their shooting with weighted dice. So I'm going to imagine these are sterilizers. These look like Taraxi sterilizers landing. He's playing maybe just to put 4 flamers into the Tetras.
Five man sterilizer, not 4. 5.
Yeah, 5 minutes. And I'm sure they are, but those sterilizers are 9 inches away from that drone in that corner, right?
I would imagine so. I haven't measured myself, so I think you're fine.
I only saw them measure to the Tetras. That's why I wasn't sure. I didn't see anybody measure to that one drone. Maybe, and I wonder if the Dragoon's plan is to charge that drone to get extra movement down to the middle since they have to go around the building anyway. Maybe he thinks he can kind of slingshot his way past that drone and be just up in Steven's face. That would be very reasonable if so.
DJ putting down Father 5 fertilizer. Right in the middle there. Right here.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys clear out the center. Yeah, you advance.
Alright, looks like we put some flamers into the Tetras. Alright, so looks like we're shooting the flamers into the Tetras. I imagine David is gathering up enough dice to roll the wounds. Alright, looks like we killed 1.5 Tetra. Oh no. Table earthquake, Pete. Table earthquake.
For once, it wasn't me. Just rolling up wounds and saves right now.
Alright, is this still for the Tetra or are we doing something else here?
This is in the stealth suit.
Into the stealth suits, okay?
We're rolling it anyway. Yeah.
Bye-bye stealth suits. Alright, so we've cleared out that objective. No more harassment from those stealth suits into those rangers. Alright, unfortunately this looks like the players are kind of rolling their dice off camera right now, which is fine. It just makes it hard for us to see exactly what's happening. So we'll have to let Pete keep us informed.
So the capsule robots are firing into the triptide
Okay.
right here.
right? Yeah, so we got, was that 6, 9 phosphor blasters? Or, sorry, no. Yeah, 9 phosphor blasters.
Yep, we're rolling right now. And obviously there's 1, 2, 5, 6 drones. 6 drones protecting that riptide.
That's a dead drone.
One drone doesn't do the bodyguard. And I take 2.
Okay.
That's the captain of the robots right there. 4 drones dead and 2 damage on the riptide.
That's not the firepower I'm used to seeing from Castellans, but obviously they're not normally kitted out with melee weapons.
Well, I think the melee weapons might be a problem, especially on this long deployment. Especially against Tau.
Yeah, like the melee weapons, I can see why they have merit. This is probably not it. Alright, so now all of the drones around that riptide are gone. So any shots into it are now going to be straight into it.
Very good save. 9 wounds up in the riptide.
9 wounds off or left?
9 wounds left.
Left, okay.
Very good saves after the drone.
Okay. We're trying to put more shots. I imagine he's got whatever shots he can get from those Skitarii Rangers into that riptide. He would love to get in there. Go ahead and try to whittle it down as much as he can.
CJ is shooting the quad right here. These guys right here.
Okay. So again, just trying to take off those breachers, get that objective back to the infiltrators. If you could just keep this middle again. Steven does not want to aggressively come into the middle of most of his army, which is going to make it so hard for him to dig out of this primary hole as the AdMech just walks up and touches everything. So if he can just kill the little bit of obsec that's up there, it's going to make this, you have to come up here to steal objectives planned way stronger. Yeah, it looks like that goes the breachers. They have breached. They have been breached. Alright, so Pete, do we still have any Tau bodies on the other 2 objectives? We know we just lost one, and then there's the one with Dragoons we got. But those other 2, is there anything in there?
What objectives are we talking about?
The one with the big Breaker Rangers. Yeah, that one. Is there any Tau stuff nearby there?
There's only 1 drone,
Okay.
but he's clearing them out with the Ranger, so it's not a factor right now.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything on this.
Okay.
Yep, the drones are gone.
And then
So,
the one up top has
not
just
a
a
factor.
devilfish, right? One up top has some devilfish and drones trying to deal with the infiltrators.
Not even the devilfish. I don't think the devilfish is touching.
Well, I mean, it's just that's what's over there. That's
Yeah,
what's in the area.
one devilfish and 2 drones.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
DJ has 7 Skitari and 1 chicken walker. And over here is just 3 Skitari, sorry. So,
Oh, yeah, this is what I, ooh.
DJ is slowly moving forward.
That's an interesting choice. Okay. So he has chosen to put some of the Dragoons in the building to attack the one drone, which just means they're not going to get out of that building. Not as a result of piling or anything like that. I mean, this drone should be dead. I kind of thought he'd bring all 3 into the middle to run between those 2 buildings and not get trapped. So I'm not sure about that.
I'm gonna step away from the table, but I think, to be blunt, I think DJ is completely misusing those chickens.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the matchup he has for
They're
him.
not making a point. They're not doing what they should be doing.
Yeah. Like, those seem like a great throwaway unit to go get your engage. You took engage. You don't need them to do anything in this game. Run around the table with them.
They should have gone for the back objective,
Yeah.
where the devilfish and the. But I mean, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
don't
I
know if
think
he's-
you could maybe even get. You could have even got 3 this turn. I think you could have got those Dragoons in position to potentially charge like that Tetra, and then you'd been in that table quarter and you would have gotten 3 on it this turn.
The problem is, he had 2 turns to go the route that I wanted him to go.
Yeah.
And I think he needed to capture that back objective with those chicken walkers.
The one. It's about the one in the Tau deployment zone.
Yep, correct. Yep. So I think that's what he should have done, because taser go chicken walkers versus the devilfish, easy.
Yeah,
Very
but the thing is, you don't need that objective because it's a 2-3 more. So as long as you don't give him any of the other 5, he still has a 0 without taking that one. It does, present the problem of there's now a melee unit in your deployment zone, and you probably have to shoot it instead of rangers.
But it's the option of adding additional resources to take that point above and beyond what I think Steven is actually wanting to do. Like,
it's like we saw in the last game. It pins him in a little bit. He has to deal with what's in his face, and he can't deal with what he wants to downrange. You don't have to. There's no tactical advantage to taking that objective, but there's tactical advantage to making you have to shoot the Dragoons instead of other stuff. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes him choose.
Yeah.
And obviously with choices, it comes with like additional mistakes.
Yeah. All right, looks like the Riptides are moving up, and it may, even from this position, they may still have to. The Tetra looks like it's move blocked the Dragoons a bit, which is nice, because that was my concern when I saw Dragoons come in between those 2 buildings, is that, or come into that building, the first one. There's a Dragoon in that building. They can't leave. Like, that one that's inside or under that purple floor can't get out. It's a vehicle. It has to go around it. So now he's going to have to go the long way. Now, if he gets shot with Riptides and he can just pull that one, then it doesn't matter. And then the Tetra is move blocking the Dragoons a little bit, which is still useful, especially. Well, I mean, it's useful. It's just the Riptides don't want to have to shoot Dragoons. That's kind of what Tina and I are talking about. Riptides would really like to be trying to work on the Ranger problem as best it can. As you have the Dragoons, which aren't even that good against you. You don't want to have to spend your time shooting them. You'd rather deal with the things that put out 80 shots. But the Tetra move blocking should do plenty, because he can just make sure that even if he shoots that Tetra out of the way, even if you're an inch away from the Tetra, that you're still 12.1 away from the Riptide, and that's good enough. Oh, but now he moves the Riptide closer, so we'll see. That might be a 12-inch charge from just the position that the Dragoons are in. And we did see, we'll switch to the scorecard real quick. So beginning of Steven's turn 2, they haven't done primary. Or no, they did. Steven just has a 0 on primary. So we got 2-1 on Gage on the first turn. And then he did get a bring it down for killing 2 of the Dragoons, so 1 point each there. So he is down 19 to 14 right now. He's just going to have definitely a problem here fighting on the primary. It's going to be hard to dig out of this because his list doesn't want to come up forward a lot. He'd like to come up and tag things while the Riptide's high in the back. And that's just not going to be as effective in this mission as it is on others. All right, looks like David and Pete are talking about something. We'll see what's going on over there. All right, so the Devilfish is coming to Infiltrators.
Yep, absolutely. Devilfish is going over. Drones are going in to protect the Riptide. I think he's kind of like consolidating the traditional towel ball. He needs the Riptide to like survive.
Yeah. Well, the problem is he's got them on 2 to last, so he needs all 3 of them to survive the entire game.
Yeah, the problem is that...
We lost you there, Pete.
Sorry, he's got to go to a smaller footprint to achieve the last. Like, he has to back off. Now, I don't know if that plays in the DJ's game plan of just taking over a bunch of objectives. So, I think DJ's in a better spot here.
Yeah. I mean, so the thing of it is, DJ's in position to get a 15. He currently holds 4 objectives. Not only does Pete have to shoot him off of one, he has to move on to one of them. That's a lot easier said than done when there's a Dragoon plus stuff on that objective. So he's going to be up 4-2. It's a 15, which means he can take the last 2 turns and just go 10-10, get a 40. He's going to be up pretty high. It's going to be extreme. Like, we just got a 5 on primary for Tau right now. It's going to be extremely difficult to, or sorry, got a 0 on primary. It's going to be extremely difficult to even get a 10. Like, we're hoping to get a 5 next turn, so we're just going to be in a big primary hole. The secondaries, I think Admech has easier secondaries to do the rest of the game too, because the Tau secondaries are just survive. So all the Admech player has to do is just kill all the Riptides. Although I guess if you get to that point, then you can't hold objectives anyway, so it doesn't matter. I guess the game plan is if you just kill the Riptides, then the Tau player can't do anything. Which easier said than done, of course. But we'll see what we get. All right, we got some shots. Pete's talking to a player as a TO right now, so in a moment we'll find out what these shots are going into. If sure they're Riptide shots, what else would we shoot? Oh, I guess we could shoot marker lights. That makes sense. Nope, these are actual guns. Looks like we picked up 2 or 3 of those Rangers that were on that objective. So it looks like maybe a high intensity marker light. What are we pointing at? Oh, into the sterilizers. So from the Tetra, it's like, well, I'm not sure. There may be some kind of split fire there. I'm putting some, maybe it would make sense maybe to put the high intensity marker light into the Dragoons and then the regular. That's not what you want.
Yeah, bad. Very bad. Steven's only got a 3 on that. That's not good. Okay. 4. So he did 4 and then added D3 with the CP.
Yep.
So 2. So he had to put in CP to get the 6.
Yep.
So that's what's that right now.
Yep. It's a nice trick. They can always just kind of pull them out when they need them. All right.
So Riptide, main cannon into the Team Walkers.
And the indirect.
SMS.
Indirect into the guys. Yep.
Into the sorry.
All right. I'm sure we're overcharging or we're Nova-charging the burst cannon.
Absolutely.
Well,
That's my fault again.
All
Sorry,
right.
real quick.
Five to AP minus 2.
Dave is just rolling his dice in his little dice tray he's got to the side. So 1, 2. So we lost 2 Rangers to indirect. Now this is the Nova charge gun into the Dragoons. All right. So we're rolling saves on Dragoons right now. Looks like we had 5 or 6 wounds. How many Dragoons do we lose? Do we lose any? We're blowing explosion. So that's the one that was in the building. Did we get a second Dragoon? Doesn't look like it. Or we're just rolling damage. Maybe it looks like it exploded. Now we're rolling mortals. Okay. All right, down to 2 Dragoons.
Riptide here and here.
Okay. So we're really trying to finish these Dragoons off.
I think he needs to. That's like the most efficient shooting. Since last round, I think the Riptide into their main battle cannon into the chickens.
Yeah, I mean they're not even really in position to shoot anything on the other side of the table anyway. So it's really either the Dragoons or the sterilizers.
Save all of them.
He saved all the saves.
Save all of them. Yep.
Oh man.
No wounds. Bad day. Steven is failing on his shooting right now.
That's unfortunate.
No wounds. Might be it. Might be it for shooting.
That's not what he needed. He needed to pick up definitely more stuff.
Yeah, Steven is absolutely failing his rolls and move rolls right now.
Yeah. Steven making sure we all know how he feels there. A little bit of a collapse there.
Because Steven is basically in quarter right now. I think for the next turn he'll be basically on one objective. I don't see how DJ doesn't completely overrun him on controlling points. And I think by turn 5 or 4, maybe even the table. Yep. Steven has literally walked away from the table.
Well, sometimes the turns like that. You see it step away for a minute, unfortunately. That shooting phase did not go the way Steven needed. He needed it to be just as efficient as it was in the first turn, where he killed like 3/4 of a unit of Rangers and half a unit of Dragoons, and that did not happen. I think there's still Rangers left on that objective, right, Pete? Pete's in a conversation. We'll wait. But I'm pretty sure there's still some Rangers in there with Dragoons. Not that the reason has to be, because even if he did get shot off that objective, he still owns it until Tau moves on to it. Alright, so it looks like the players are updating their scores, hopefully. Pete, are they updating their scores right now?
Yep. Steven's updating right now.
Alright, let's go to the scorecard. So we'll see what the players come up with. So we're moving into David's third turn. And Pete, can you tell from looking at the board for us, was Steven able to get and engage that turn?
I'm happy to report the Harridan is still alive. Somehow the Harridan is still alive.
That's pretty impressive. All right, was Steven able to get engaged on that turn? I couldn't tell from the board. Is Steven in 3/4 or just 2?
Steven got 2 for engage.
Okay, so he's on 4 points now. All right.
Yep. Should be updated right now.
Yep. Let's see. That seems a little odd. All right, 1 second, guys. I'm going to double check on the score real quick. All right, so at the end of Steven's turn, Steven did have 2. He did apparently have that one in the back where the infiltrators were in that top left. So he was able to get points for that on his turn, so he did get 5. Go back to the scorecard. He did pick up engage again, and he did kill a single more vehicle. He killed the 3rd Dragoon. So he is up to 22. Now they're talking out the score. I think they're going to put the score in at the end of David's turn. David is getting a 15 on primary here. So David is already up to a minimum of 40 points. And we have to assume that he's getting probably 4 on data intercept. So that's going to bring him up to 44 points. So he's got a nice healthy lead at the moment, kind of doubling up Steven. All right, these sterilizers are coming up to do stuff. How far do the sterilizers move? That's much further than I thought they could move. Maybe they advanced. I bet they advanced.
Nope. 16 inches.
Did, did the sterilizers advance? Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I was like, that can't be their base move. That's crazy. Alright, so now we're...
Yeah, Mech, how's that crazy?
Alright, so now we are engaging in 4 quarters again. We're up in the way. So this is what Steven did not want to have happen. Again, David still has 2 bricks, 2 whole, completely untouched bricks on the right side of the table. And honestly, like, he doesn't even have to do a lot. Like, we're definitely at a part of the game where if David just doesn't do anything, if they both just do exactly what they're doing, David's going to win. He's just ahead, and he's got easier secondaries to do. So he can keep the pressure on Steven to just make sure Steven never gets the opportunity to try to make a playback. The easiest thing for David to do is David just finds a way to kill the 3 Riptides, and that's just, Steven's max score is 85 at that point.
Yeah, I think DJ's kind of cornered Steven to a literal corner.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get out of it.
Yeah. The Talus is not designed to fight its way out of a paper bag. It wants to harass you from a distance so that you don't want to walk in front of them. The AdMech player doesn't care about any of that. He's just going to run over there anyway. Alright, so those, that looks like a bunch of shots that are about to go into that Riptide. I have a feeling that we're going to be rapid firing there. Now, the nice thing is, with the battlesuit not being a vehicle, we can do enrich rounds into it, start auto-wounding in all 4s since we are still pre-FAQ. So I think there's a good chance between, if those all go into that Riptide and the sterilizers go into the drones that are over there, we're gonna be in even worse of a pickle. The phosphor blasters are coming around too. Yeah, I don't think David's planning on having any mercy in this game. Sometimes you see players like, I've gotten to a point where I'm going to max my score and I don't care what you do. I think David's just like, I'm just going to make sure that you don't have the opportunity to do anything to me. And he is coming around that corner next turn. He is he's coming around the corner right now, but it's going to be bad next turn. Tal is going to have to actively start running away. Looks like we have a lot of shots lined up from that bottom right corner across the table into that Riptide. I do not think that left or rightmost Riptide is surviving this turn, unfortunately. We having a solar flare? This looks like a solar flare. This looks like a solar flare, and there is not a very good chance that that's good for Steven. Yep. That's not what you want. Yeah, this is bad for Steven. This is not what you want. We might be losing 2 Riptides this turn. At which point, I think the game's just over, unfortunately. We'll see. Obviously, he can't enrich rounds on both, so we'll see what happens. Yep, he wants that Riptide. Swiggity swooty, chat. He is coming for that booty. Swiggity swooty.
But they are really nice. If all the other Chaos players do as bad as I did the first time, I might get that one still. Yeah, low bar. Chaos is not a high bar, so I like it.
Yeah, you know, I love a good redeploy as my deck runs. I love my Veil of Darkness. Man, I wish I could get as much out of Veil of Darkness as Admech can get out of Solar Flare. He can get so much damage out of it. It's pretty dumb. This is, I think we're about to see I think we're about to blot out the sun with the amount of shots that come out of these two units, unfortunately. He's also getting Engage again. Assuming those sterilizers don't die, we now have Engage. Okay, so we're just, Steven's helping, which, you know, this is what we want to see in our tournaments here at Death Glory. Steven is helping David make sure that he is getting the Octarius data, it looks like. It looks like those sterilizers are not trying to flame stuff. They have come up to go ahead and get Octarius data out of the way. Although they advance, they can't be doing that. That's not what's happening. I'll double check with Pete. Pete, are those sterilizers trying to Octarius data? What are those sterilizers doing?
Yeah, affirmative. One squad rotted, the other one not doing that.
Right, I was just making sure, because that one squad up next to the Riptide advanced, right?
No. He went +3 for Skitari trait.
Oh, he's got it straight for extra movement. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
So
cool. So we're good. Okay. All right, just want to make sure we're good. But yeah, that's what we want to see from Steven. Steven would help him measure the quadrant for David to make sure he's getting Octarius data from the sterilizers, which makes complete sense. That the flamers from the sterilizers don't really, like, you got plenty of other shots. You're not relying on the flamers. Let's just go ahead and get the Octarius data out of the way. It makes absolute sense. Admech is doing Admech things. Alright, so this looks like this is the unit of... Is this the other unit of sterilizers, I take it? I'm not sure what those are. What's on his list? Are these... Yeah, are the sterilizers there, I assume? They could be infiltrators, perhaps?
Yep. DJ's doing sterilizers right now.
Okay.
And that's what he's placing.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a non-0% chance that we can call the game after this turn. There's about to be so much damage.
So DJ was using the the model to place this sterilizer, kind of like a ranging tool. So I'm shooting now, and after next round, I think I'll probably call it.
Yeah. I'm not sure that there's going to be 2 Riptides left after this turn. We might only have 1 Riptide, and 1 Riptide's not beating what's on that table. It's definitely gonna come down to how well can these Riptides survive what's about to happen to him. Because he very clearly set up that solar flare to get in range of the leftmost Riptide. We know the other unit that came around the corner with the Castellans is in range of that rightmost Riptide. So we'll see how durable they are. Not for long. Not for long.
We live the dream, boys. We got one day in.
Hey, 2-1 at the end of day 1 is still very, very good. That's what most players would, hope for anyway. Still an outside chance at top 3 at X and 1 at the end of day 2 for sure.
I believe.
Alright, we're starting to roll some dice off camera. Players are talking some things out also, it looks like. Rolling a few dice. Okay. Looks like, I don't know what that was. That was not a commander. What was that he just picked up, Pete?
The drones on one of the Riptides.
Okay, the missile drones.
Two drones on down.
Okay. So he's going to go after as many drones as he can before he gives the Riptide the opportunity to pass damage off. All right, making a few more drone saves, it looks like. Oh, that was on to the Riptide.
Yeah. 3 damage on the Riptide, down to 4 right now. Some more shots. Again, we just have, you guys can see the top left corner, David's just rolling his dice off camera. Riptide is down 2.
Okay. All right, looks like it's time to shoot the solar flare into the Riptide. How long can the Riptide look into the sun? Oh, there's our owner, or the store owner that we're playing at this weekend, hanging out. All right, we see a lot of dice in that dice tray in the back. This is probably the 80 shots here. Is that a Riptide? It looks like it's damage on a Riptide, but not picking up the Riptide. So Pete, tell us what happened there.
Yep, there's 10 wounds left on that Riptide here, and then there's an additional 12 wounds on this one right here.
Okay. So was that the
Steven,
solar flared unit shooting into the Riptide, or was something else happening there?
Yep.
And
So there's four drones on this, and 3 drones on this one right here.
Okay. And they were able to pass off enough damage to kind of shake it?
Yep, that's pretty much what happened.
Interesting.
I don't think.
That's very surprising. I did not think that the Riptides would be able to withstand all the shots from that big unit.
Okay. Steven just lost an entire five-man.
Steven?
A 5-man squad right here on this.
Okay.
I think the. Yep. So he lost all the squad right here. He was shooting from the flamers right here.
Okay. So these are from the sterilizers that are on the bottom of the screen that are flaming into that ruin, not the ones.
I think Steven's getting boxed in pretty hard right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same problem we saw with Drakari last round, for a different reason. Drakari threw a bunch of stuff in the other Drakari's face, and he had to deal with it before he could go play the mission, and it's kind of what's happening to Steven right now. That Admech is throwing the kitchen sink into Tao's face right now, and Tao is not getting a chance to play the mission because he has to just keep killing things that are in front of him. Definitely merit of that threat overload in this table quadrant. Just don't let the other person play the mission. Playing the mission is how you lose the game. Just don't let him do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Tau have flapped the ground. Definite win for the Admech. I don't know how many Admech are going to be in the top tables, but I venture 3. That's my guess right now.
Yeah.
After round 3.
We'll do a quick glance at the placings of what's done whenever this match is officially over. We still haven't picked up the third Riptide. I imagine we're going to this turn. But that rightmost Riptide right next to sterilizers seems to be, it's on single-digit number of wounds on a single die, so it's the one that seems most likely to go. I am genuinely surprised that the other Riptide didn't die. we'll be right back. Alright, so we'll see if David's able to finish off this one Riptide. I feel like that had to be his plan for this turn. Because he knows that the Riptides obviously can operate top bracket. So you just get rid of them. It's the whole... Alright, yeah, we're measuring up what else can shoot this Riptide to try to get it off. So, looks like we're talking about some shots into the Tetras here. Maybe a charge from the Dragoons into the Tetra just to get rid of it. Yep, that's what we got. Big charge coming around the side into the Tetra. This Tetra should be gone. Oh, so it looks like we're going to try to put... That's interesting. We want to try to put the... sterilizer just deep struck into the Riptide to try to finish it, as our shooting surprisingly did not seem to be able to do the job. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty shocked by that. I thought it would just it was just enough shots to pick it up. Now he's gonna get the greater good here for things that can see the sterilizers. So we'll see how many things can see them. This list is built around smart missile systems, so that's the indirect, and a lot of things, all the Riptides have it. And I think one of the the commander, I think, what does that commander have? One of the commanders basically doesn't have any guns. 4 missile pods, which are not indirect. So we'll see. Yeah, that thing just died. Ah, okay. So sterilizers have returned to orbit after completing their action, it looks like. I love that happened in the movement phase. I guess that can happen at the end of your turn. I want to double check that, because I thought that had to be in the... No, it can't be, because I knew they used to get to land and do stuff and then fly away. So I'm sure this is right.
Players, it's over 1 hour left. Thank you. Players. 20 minutes, right?
Booster thrust. Yeah, end of your turn. Yep, so that's right. That is correct. So we got to see the full value of the booster thrust strat, even though it's been nerfed. Traxi got +3 movement, jumped up to the quadrant that Steven is in, finished Octarius data. At the end of the turn, go back into the table, can land and do Octarius data somewhere else next turn, which will be his 4th turn to go ahead and get the 12 and be done with it. All right, and Steven is identifying he needs to go and try to get some points. He's trying to see if he can get some engage points here. I think Steven knows that he probably can't win this game. He's going to get as many points as he can to help him with his chances to have a high finish at the end of the tournament regardless. Looks like David is tallying up on the scorecard what his points are, then they'll put that in the phone together. I'm not sure that Riptide was able to get over the center line to go get engaged. It looked like it was pretty close.
Steven's Triptide right here.
Yep.
Didn't engage.
It did cross the line? I wasn't
Over
sure
the
if it made
line,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. That madman.
All right, and then at the end of Steven's turn, we'll see if we can go ahead and get them to update both their scores, because it looks like they have not input any of the turn 3 scores yet. But obviously, Steven is focused on his movement phase, so we'll see if we can get an accurate end of 3 reflection. So Steven's making a fight of it. He's doing what he can. Going to go try to get as many points as he can. It seems like maybe he thinks his best play here is that the Riptides can come up the side of the table. Maybe he can, based on where he put the Ghost Start, or the Devilfish, maybe he thinks he has a chance to, if he puts everything into those Rangers on that middle top left objective where the Devilfish is, maybe he thinks he can clear them off. We'll see. The nice thing is the commander could actually do some work into those Rangers, his D3 weapon. So they're not getting the Lucius stuff.
Good news. The Harridan is still alive.
Harridan's still alive.
I don't know how. In round 3, the Harridan is still alive.
And I feel like if a Harridan's alive for this long, then you just win the game. Like, that means something bad happened and the other player can't win anymore. I don't know. I'd be interested to see. That's a lot of damage for a long time.
It's a lot of failure.
Yeah.
What it is.
The Harridan's a champion. It's not a failure. He's just championing the people. All right, yeah, it's brought both Riptides up to have line of sight into those Rangers. Feels like he's flipped the table a bit. He's trying to make it, I think it's hammer and anvil when you're both on the short side, going across the long part of the table. So he's definitely trying to kind of triangle up on these 3, see if he can just focus on getting 10 the rest of the game. David's definitely getting 10 the rest of the game. It's not going to be a question. So David doesn't have to leave his little triangle on his side, on the right side of the table, to change his primary score. It's just going to be a question of, does he want to? Since he had a 5 on the first turn and not a 10, it's going to max him at 40 on primary. He may just want those 5 extra points, which means he's got to just shove it down Tao's throat to get there. So we've got some marker lights going right now into the Dragoons. We're just kind of pointing out a lot of shots here.
So Steven's got 1 marker light in the Dragoons and 1 marker light on the large Ranger brick.
The top left.
Right here.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it looks like Steven is committed to, if he's got whatever chance he has here, it has to do with him claiming his side of the table. So he needs to clear out both those units. Try to just say, this is my side of the table and I'm going to get my points here. We'll see if he's got enough firepower to do it.
killing 3 Rangers, 5 Rangers, I'm sorry, in the objective over here with the Triptide.
Okay, the one that was just over there getting engaged anyway.
Yes, right here.
Yeah. Alright. And he's measuring to see if he can pick up some shots here with the Riptide. I feel like all the other Riptide shots should be going into the left side.
Yeah, only one.
Yeah, so these are into the. These are still into the same Rangers.
I think Steven's trying to.
You think Steven's trying to what?
Steven's trying to reduce that brick there, delete it. Not going very well right now. He's got like 75% of that brick over there, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the unit I would be shooting at. I mean, I understand. Although the one that's engaging doesn't have to shoot that unit either. I feel like all 3 Riptides maybe should just be shooting that same unit up in the top left. So. Yeah, well, we'll see how they play it out. I think we're getting to a point where they could talk it out pretty easily if they wanted to. So we'll see what they choose to do.
How's the stream going?
It's definitely harder with one person here. I think the ideal situation is 2 people here and 1 person there. So we'll have to see what we can do in the future. All right. So two plus Mott, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying our game today. Sorry, I stepped away from the mic for a moment to talk to some of our team members. I think Pete and I are talking. I think we're questioning the splitting fire here to the right with the Riptides. It seems a little odd that the Riptides are not because even the one in the bottom middle has a line of sight up that alley to the unit up near the Devilfish or the Devilfish. I really feel like all 3 should be trying to pick up that brick and fight on that side of the board. I'm not sure what he thinks he's getting by trying to thin down the opposite side where he's never going to get to anyway. And splitting that fire is probably going to mean you don't have enough shots to pick up either one. So we'll see what happens here.
Look, I can't afford that laptop.
All right, my mic is back on, guys. Okay, picked up one of the Dragoons. That's not nothing for sure. That's removing some of the pressure, but the issue is still the 2 Ranger bricks. Those are the ones that are in the space that we need to be in for Tal, especially that top left Ranger brick. Although he is getting a point for killing the Dragoon, so maybe that's what he's looking for again. He may have accepted that he can't win this game. That's possible. And so he's just getting the points he can. He gets automatic points for killing Dragoons, so maybe he's just looking for that right now. We got both players hanging out. Yep, I think we may be talking it out at this point. We'll go to our horizontal camera here. Or at least scoring it up. We're getting the score in. We'll see. They may choose to talk it out. Pete will go check for us. I don't know if they're talking it out or just tallying up that turn score. We'll go over to our scorecard, see what we're putting in.
They're scoring it up, not talking it up.
Okay. I think they missed. I think they missed putting in primaries because David still only got 5 primary. I see everything else changed.
Yep. Primary's changing right now.
Okay.
Should be updated.
All right. So 20, and then it looks like he's going to get another 10 when his turn starts. Okay. All right. Looks like we're back to movement. So we're actually up 61 to 24 at this point because we're getting 10 for holding 3 on David's turn. It also means he's probably getting another 3 for data intercept. So we'll see how many he's up to here. Go back to the overhead. Yeah, so that was probably extremely underwhelming to say the least for Tau. We didn't kill anything. We didn't kill any of the units we need to. There's still a Dragoon left. There's still 2 big bricks of Rangers left. I feel like we really needed to try to focus down one of the bricks of Rangers, and I'm not sure I saw like 1 or 2 models get picked up for either unit. So that's very unfortunate. Very paltry shooting phase from what I think Steven was hoping for. And we were definitely at a point where there's not like any good, obvious, easy choices. So it's not like there's like any glaring plays that Steven should have made. We're just looking for what is the only chance we got here. And we're now at a point where you see the Dragoons coming up, and we're just going to be harassing the whole time. That Riptide on the bottom right is just dead. It's not surviving. There's no drones anymore. It's got like 4 wounds left or something. It's gone. We may see this. Honestly, this might be the opportunity to bring in the Castellans. They can walk closer to the Riptide, shoot downfield, and then charge it and actually punch it to death very easily with their fists. That just opening up those extra 9 phosphor blasters downfield would be pretty helpful as well. Yep, and we are now measuring exactly to that. Looks like the Rangers are going to come out instead. They want to do that? Okay. I mean, the Rangers can probably... I don't know how many wounds the Riptide has left, but I would not be surprised if the Rangers can kill a Riptide in combat also. But he is making sure it looks like he's leaving a space exactly for what I talked about, the Castellan robots to come up. He's going to get the extra movement out of them anyway. Yeah. It's Castellan time, boys and girls.
How's the stream?
Sad. We were all rooting for you so hard, Stephen.
Once I calls it down.
Yeah, I think the Castellan robots are just going to get like the extra. It looks like maybe, I don't know, 9 inches of movement overall between charging and piling it afterwards, or consolidating afterwards. So they're they're a problem now. They're gonna walk into that backfield, and they're just gonna exist. We there are no more good choices. Everything's bad choice. Okay, looks like we bring the sterilizers in here. I was not expecting to see the sterilizers come back in the same quadrant. I figured they would go to a different quadrant to do whatever. Although the quadrant he doesn't have may be the one that's got jammed up with the devilfish up in the top left, and he just can't go rod that right now. So he's going to come in, land with some flamers. Take out more drones, probably. Make it easier to kill the commander and the Riptides. All right, let's look, while we see this movement phase happening, we're going to take opportunity. Let's go look and see if we got any other results that we can look at of note from our top tables. So we do have Brad Chester with Drukari beat Max Couch already. Max was on, I want to say AdMech. Let me double check. Placings. Yeah, so we have Drukari over AdMech at table 3. See if we have any other results. It didn't look like we had any other ones from our top tables. Yeah, next closest one is down at table 12, where Tom has beat our table or round 2 streamer, Derek Liska. Got about 40 minutes left, so plenty of time in the round. I don't know about you, chat. I'm here to see these this robot punching fight. I want to see the Castellans versus the Riptide in combat. That's what I feel like I paid my money to see that in this game. I don't want to shoot the Riptide to death. I want to see some fisticuffs. Looks like we're rolling some number of attacks over there off camera. All right, let's see what we have murdered at this point. I've lost my table boss, so I can't get any updates at the moment, unfortunately. Hopefully we get the results of this dice. They've been over off the table rolling dice for a long time. I'm sorry, chat. Without Pete over there, I have no idea what's happening off camera. They've both been over there for a minute. So looks like the Castellans are going to try to shoot down range, or maybe this. Okay, so the Rangers are going to try to shoot down range. See if they can pick up that Riptide on the other side of the table. Go ahead and get that out of the way before they charge this nearby Riptide. Is that the Riptide? No, it's a wounded Riptide. The Riptide is still alive. We'll see for how long. Looks like we're putting the other bricks. We're now putting two 20-man bricks into the same Riptide. I'm not going to lie. I'm shocked that it survived this long. Bye-bye Riptide. Finally. I was going to say, if it survived 2 turns with 20-man brick shooting it, I was just going to be completely shocked. So that makes sense. So we're now down 10 points because there's not a chance in hell that this Riptide in the bottom right is going to survive these Castellans punching it. So that's 2 of our while we stands to the last. Okay, looks like we put in some number of shots into the Devilfish as well. Alright, and here we have our robot fight that I was looking forward to. Some Rock'em Sock'em robots, as Pete mentioned earlier. So I'm not sure if we got all 5 into combat. We're definitely getting 4. And I think this is gonna hurt. I assume that was Steven just doing his free greater good. Free Overwatch there. Might as well get the shot, see if anything happens. So this is probably the greater good Overwatch into the Dragoon. See if we pick it up. Not super likely. it time for the robot fight? I think it's time for the robot fight. It's time for the percolator.
That's the address for a game room. You need address for Markham?
Oh, that was still Overwatch into the Dragoon, it looks like. We did pick up the Dragoon. Very nice. Commander did pick up the Dragoon. All right, now, oh yeah, he's not even gonna let him roll it. This is dead. I know how this movie ends. Yeah, we get that 3 extra inches. This is, we're now officially in a predicament. Down 10 points on while we stand, or to the last. Not a lot we can do at that point. We're already behind on primary. Now we're obviously going to be behind on secondary because there's just 10 points we can't get. It's pretty bad now. Alright, looks like we're still Nova charging the remaining Riptide. Steven's going to come see what game he can make of it. He's going to try to hide his Riptide to get some points. He may be able to pick up another 2 on engage if he like top brackets that Devilfish and just flies across the table, perhaps. I don't know that it can get all the way across the center line. We'll have to see. Maybe talking something out. We'll see. Yep, so he's going to take away as much shooting as he possibly can to try to keep that 5 points alive. Again, he's fighting for the points he's got left on the table. Yeah, it does not look like the Devilfish was able to clear that line, unfortunately. Okay, so he's disembarking the drones. The drones just hop out and then advance to get over the side to get the last 2 points he probably can get from engage. and we're just trying to. Looks like Steve is just trying to whittle down as much as he can this top left brick. There's not. He can't touch the bottom right corner. Unfortunately, the game's a bit academic at this point. There's just nothing that he can do to interact with that bottom right corner, and he's just going to kind of chase him around the table a little bit. Oh, we did pick up a Castellan. It's definitely too late for that to be super helpful, but you know, I think it still counts as a vehicle, so we are still getting a point for bringing down that way. Pretty sure Castellan are vehicles. I'm not sure. Are Castellan, Pete? You know, are Castellan vehicles or infantry? Pete doesn't know. I'll look it up on Wikipedia. Castellan. Yeah, they're vehicles. So yeah, just killing one does just peg an extra point, which is always nice. There goes the Ranger 2. Looks like we put some of the commander missiles into the Castellans, and then the Riptides going into the large unit up by the Devilfish. looks like the Riptide charged something to get all the way behind that building. It's just hilarious. I don't know what it charged. Looks like the Rangers are piling and consolidating into the Devilfish. Roguely intervening, perhaps? I'm not sure. It is all moved. Alright, looks like we're tallying up the score again here. And again, we're at a point where this is just, we know it's over. We'll go see what they do.
I'm not winning any of these, by the way.
All right, so yeah, I think we're talking it out. Where they've agreed that David's going to max out primary. Let's see, got the 13 on data intercept. I feel like you could probably max that out too if they talk out the whole game. We'll see. It may just not be worried about it. Oh yeah, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Maxing, he's holding 3 the rest of the game, so that's fine. If he just doesn't go over to Steven's side of the table anymore. So we're going to end up with 13 on data, 13 on engage, 12 on retrieve Octarius data, maxing that. Steven's going to end up with 25 on the primary. And he's going to hold his little triangle the rest of the game because David doesn't have to mess with him anymore. 10 for engage on all fronts, 6 for bring it down, and he's going to get to keep the last Riptide for a final score of 93 to 56. Kind of to be expected a little bit, I think, from what we thought might be happening. It was just so much firepower, and you know, with triple Riptide, you're playing 3 very elite units, and they're elite, but they don't have that weight of fire, unfortunately, that all the things from AdMech are bringing. And I think we just got to see. So well-fought game for both players. Both guys look like they had a great time. Extreme sportsmanship showed throughout the game. A lot of both players helping the other ones out. Really love to see that. See if any of our other top tables are finished that we can report. Let's see. So we do have Daniel Kennedy over Ryan Osborne, 96 to 57. That was our table 5 match. Daniel Kennedy into 3-0 with Drukari. So right now we have 2 3-0 Drukari players and a 3-0 AdMech player. And then we'll see, there's a couple spots left. We still have AdMech versus Drukari on table 2. I believe, no, I'm sorry. It's Drukari versus Death Guard on table 2. And then we have Chaos versus Sisters on table 4. Those should be our top undefeated tables going into tomorrow. So we'll look to see what we've got tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I know it's been a little weird. We've been having various audio and personnel issues throughout the day, trying to make sure you guys stay informed. We appreciate you hanging with us. Hope you enjoyed the games today. And we will see you guys for the last 2 rounds tomorrow. I think we start at 9:45. So hope you all have a good night, and we will see you in the morning. Take care, everybody.